Hello, poor people. How are you today? In tonight's discourse, I will explain to you the mindset that helps you attract success. The problem with most people is in their pursuit. They think relationship, network, who can I meet, external things, as opposed to the mental prowess it takes to achieve the outcome. Even if you have all of the aforementioned right, if the mindset is wrong, you would invariably fail. It cancels out. But if you have the variables wrong and the mindset right, you would still be successful, because it's only a matter of time before that mindset reorders your step to work in congruity with the various variables. Mindset is very important. What causes pain is not the circumstances or happenings around your life, but the interpretation associated with them. You and I can look at the flag. One might feel patriotic, the other disgusted. So the same object of focus, but different interpretation. If we take action based on that visual prowess, our outcome will be vastly apart. What's the problem? It's the same object, the same site, the same distance. The diverging factor, interpretation, the mindset in which we view the product, the lens of which we view the product from. Mindset. Very important as touching life and destiny. The first mindset you need to adopt as touching success is the dogged mentality, die-hard mentality, the ability never to quit. The Bible says it in the book of Luke. My apologies. The Bible says it in the book of Genesis that there are some people who set their heart to build a tower that will reach the heaven, and God came down and said, nothing will be restrained from them, which they have done. So the only way to prevent those things from happening, the only way to prevent that product from manifesting in the physical realm, was to confuse their language. The Bible also expounds a judge who neither feared God or man, but a widow who had no connections, no relationship, nobody to speak for her, no finances to bribe. She went there continuously. Avenge me, my enemy. I avenge me, my adversary. Avenge me, my adversary. And the Bible says, one day, the judge got up and said, I will avenge this woman, else she beareth my soul. That means you can bury destiny. Let me make something clear. At the infancy of this channel, I posted 700 plus videos before we gained traction. Please understand. People say, 700 videos. No, that's 2 years of my life. I didn't post sporadically when I feel like. It was a consistent process. Two years of my life posting, and I gained no traction. I gained no subscribers. So you see that this story is twofold. So the first side of the puzzle in which we would analyze is the fact that 2 years might seem trivial to the average individual. But let's break it down. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, up until a month. Month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6, month 7, month 8, month 9, and the process repeats itself. And during the initial starting of the career, you can make audacious statements like most of you have. Check me out in the next 5 years, and in 6 years, you are forced to bow your head in shame. That's how life works, ladies and gentlemen. Life is not a movie. Life is not Hollywood, like some seasonal TV series with the morale we try and portray, that after the individual has suffered, has gone through hell, somehow it all works. You've suffered. You've gone through hell. And where has that led you? Right back to me. You see, it's evident that the solution is not suffering. It's not necessarily hard work, but the right mental attitude to achieve the desired outcome. So we move to the second aspect of the story, which is no traction. I was averaging around no views, 2 views sometimes, a view. And you know how these things work. It's not guaranteed that the individual who clicked will complete the video, further discouraging it from the algorithm promotion. Please understand, imagine reviewing, analyzing your video, trying to improve the quality, increasing the content, the sound, the background, your various aspects in an attempt to communicate your points more efficiently. And guess what happened? The universe decides to reward your hard work and nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. It's painful. I remember those days. If I got a double-digit view on a video, I would have to redo it because it seems favorable to the algorithm. So creating those videos day after day, sun, rain, shine, regardless of the outcome, the result, until you get to the point where you're willing to die than to not see your success. You've not started. As long as you're trying to hide, what would this person think? I made a video recently, tons of videos on confidence, and part of the solution to overcome timidity is to disregard public opinion, what they would say about you. My friends, most of you are not shy as individuals. You're just scared of being yourself. You're scared of what people would say when you confidently say, hello, how are you doing? Will she arrive? How will she respond? Look at how I am dressed. All of these are outlets in which you hinge your fear of public opinion upon. That's why individuals chase something as elusive as finances, because it fits the protocol of an endless pursuit. Now you have something to justify your negative outcome. The reason I don't have this girl is because I don't have money. The reason I can't speak up at XYZ event is because I don't have money. You've created such a paradigm that all your failures are hinged upon the absence of financial outcome. It's a cure-all excuse. In fact, your excuse is still a consequence of lack of accountability. Who are you to blame for the absence of financial resources? You've made all kinds of statements. What was my father doing when his mates were doing XYZ? What was my father doing? And you've complained. For as long as you keep blaming people who have gone ahead, there's no rising for you. You've blamed your father. You've blamed everybody. In few years to come, you'll fill that role. What have you done? Exactly. There's a famous Nigerian story of a drunkard who lost all of his investments and resorted to drugs and alcohol. Fathered 2 children as a reason, and he was not the best template of a father. At the end of it all, one would become a successful businessman and build a charity after his pain. The second, a robber, a nuisance to society. And this journalist was fortunate to have both of them in a room and asked a question: why are you like this? A nuisance to society, corrupt, causing mayhem. Why are you this way? His response: what did you expect with the kind of father I had? They asked the second brother, successful, doing big things for the gospel: why are you this way? And he gave the same response: what do you expect with the kind of father I had? So for one, his negative situation was a challenge that if I came from a poor family will not evolve from me. And you're making all kinds of excuses. My friend, even during the process of creating this content, not this one, but in those days of unpopularity, my tripod broke. This is coming from a guy who could barely feed at the time, let alone replace a broken tripod. What do? I go to my laundry basket, turn the surface inside out such that it's flat, the cover. Then, since the tripod still retained its phone holder capability, I just rested it upon the laundry and I created content. I didn't think about it twice. It was not a painful event. I never said, why me? Or why is this happening? It was not an excuse to stop. Majority of you seek out opportunities like this at the slightest or at the hint of slight resistance. You are done. You stop, you give up, you capitulate. My friend, it's not necessarily because of what happened, but you've mentally checked out and you're only looking for an external circumstance to back up that claim. The laundry basket acted as the height, while the tripod retained its holding capability. Don't sit down there and hope. And guess what? Days later, I fixed the tripod. It didn't register in my mind. I'm trying to look for a word in the English language that can articulately describe my nonchalancy towards failure. Which leads us to number 2. Reduce the amount of importance you place on this goal. This goal should not define the next level of your destiny. For instance, your life is on a pedestal till you achieve a certain level of finances. So you don't say hello to women, you don't have friends, you don't eat well, you don't do things for yourself. My friend, it will become harder to achieve that goal, if not impossible. Life is based on identity, and once you become something, it becomes easier to achieve the goal associated with that identity. It's a paradox in relationship. The person I like doesn't like me back, but the person I don't like me. But it's because the person you don't like, you're being yourself, you're nonchalant, you do not respond to what you consider stupid conversation. But the person you do like, you're acting in ways you think the lady would respond to, which makes you repulsive. You're needy, you laugh at a stupid joke, you're not yourself. All of this are repulsive attitude. Which then begs the question, have you been acting in ways repulsive to your desired outcome, to your desired goals? Exactly. So it's a question you need to ask yourself. Reduce the amount of importance attached to the goal. Ask yourself, if I have achieved this goal, what would it look like? What would I be? What's next? How would I feel? What would I do? How would I respond? in certain situations. In fact, becoming that person, there's a level of fulfillment you receive such that the outcome to justify that experience is no longer needed. And that's when the goal happens. When you get to a point where you no longer need something external to prove a point, and the goal happens. For the sake of time, we'll end it here. And as always, my friends, a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.